let's get started with today's topic. So, welcome to the Homeschool Break Room. Every Thursday, we gather live to chat about this and that. Let me throw that back up on the screen in case you are just joining us. Topics for the next several weeks. Homeschool Mom Fun next week, March 11th. We're going to be talking. I'm going to have a guest with us, a fellow homeschool blogger named Sarah Miller. I will leave her blog down in the description bar. She's going to be sharing some tips about struggling learners. Homeschool fun for spring the following week, and then we'll be talking some kitchen stuff, recipes and such. So if you're just joining us, be sure to take note of those. If you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get notifications for when I set the lives, and then when I go live, you'll get little notifications. So let's get into today's topic, though. We are going to be talking about some free resources. I've had some requests in the past few months to do another one of these. I used to I did a Freebie Friday newsletter email for a while, and then I've also done a few different videos on my channel. I will link those videos, and I have a blog post to go with have all of these links. The titles will be down there, and the link to the blog post with all the links will be in the description bar as well. So be sure to check that out. As for today's topic, first resource I want to share is Read Theory. Again, I'm not sure if I said this clearly. All of these resources are free, and they are quality ones. They are ones I use, ones I think that are actually worth checking out, which can be hard to narrow down out on the great wide internet, because there are some that are definitely not worth your time. First one, Read Theory. I hate standardized testing, and it's one of the many reasons that we homeschool. But I also know that the skills you learn through standardized testing can also pay off long term, especially if you have a student who will eventually take something like the SAT or the ASVAB, ACT. Do that. Read Theory, I think, is good for that skill, as well as if you have a child who struggles with reading comprehension. Read Theory gives your student a passage of reading, a couple paragraphs, and then there are questions that go with it. Not only are they questions like to check their basic comprehension, but they also teach the student how to go back to the reading passage and find the answer. And I think this is one of the skills that is really important, because a lot of kids just want to get through it. But teaching them how to go back and find the answer, even if they know what the answer is, like going back and finding which paragraph was it in, is such an important skill for a lot of kids. So they take the quiz. It gives you a Lexile reading score. If you are just interested in knowing, like randomly checking in where your kids are with their Lexile level, you can just use this, every 4 months or something and have them do that. But what I really like about it is it adjusts. So if your student does really well on one, it might bump them up to the next grade level or 2 grade levels. But then the more they do it, like, oh, that was just a one-time thing, they're a little lower. It kind of evens them out until gradually it's trying to build their, raise their level. But it adapts so that it adapts to where they are. I'm trying to say. I have used it with all of my kids. With math, with both of my boys, I tend to do more like every couple of months we hop on there and do it. Ben's reading comprehension and reading level is ridiculous, but he needs the skill of going back and finding the answers. Matthew is very on level. And so sometimes I just like to do it with him for him to see his progression. So read theory, you can use it in all kinds of ways, and I think it's worth checking out. Next one is called the Daily Art app, and I believe I've shared this before, but I can't find any place where I've done it. So I don't know where I've done it, but I will show you. So it's just what it says, a daily piece of art, and I really like it. You get a picture of the art. They give you the title, who it's by, a couple paragraphs about it, and then at the bottom, it gives you like the medium, what the style is, and where you can find it, like in what museum. And that's all it is. I often feel like oh, can you put the chicken back in the fridge? Or put it in the microwave, I mean? Thank you. I often find like if I want to add something to our day or to our week, that I have to do it in grand style. I have to do this big, complete thing. But I don't always want to. And so that's what I like about this art app. I can just introduce a piece of art, tell the kids about it a little bit, and then we're done. And since that's all that's on there, I don't feel the pressure to make it bigger than that. 5 minutes, we've learned about a piece of art, we've looked at the picture, boom, we're done. Sometimes we'll do this together like as a part of our morning basket, which is usually an anytime basket. We can do it in the car, have one of the kids read it. Now that my daughter's driving, I can do the reading while she does the driving. It's just something simple and easy to do. And I don't feel like if I don't get it done one day, no big deal. I don't ever feel behind in it. And I really appreciate that. Number 3 is called Dance Mat Typing by the BBC. Pretty popular among homeschoolers, so you may have already heard of this one. But it's a basic typing program that gets you from never having used a keyboard before or basic hunt and peck to decent typing. It's what my daughter used when she was young. Really, that's all she ever used as her typing program. Our library, when she was young, used it. Like they had typing classes, and that's where she got it from. Basic, straightforward. It's good. It's not boring or anything like that, but it's also not over the top like some things are. There are some games, I believe, but I'm maybe not saying that. I believe there are some typing games along with it. It's just a basic, get it done program. You may want to add something else to it eventually to increase their speed or whatever, but especially for young kids who are just starting to use a keyboard, this is a great introduction to typing. Number 4, I had all these little things. Dance mat typing. I have all these made. So again, read theory for standardized test taking skills and reading comprehension. Daily art app for a little bit of art appreciation. Dance mat typing. Next one, Great American Read. This is something that PBS did several years ago. And it started with having people vote on their favorite books. And they gathered up a list of 100 books that are kind of like the best loved books. And then they added some things to it. They created a short TV series to go along with it. I don't know if you can see those 2 posters up there. They're like travel, like that old travel style poster that you would see like with national parks or something. One of them, let's see, this one's for Jurassic World and that one's for Hogwarts. There are some of those to go along with them. Um, but this reading list, I think, would be an absolutely fantastic one for your kids. If you're looking for something that will get them from like fourth or fifth grade through high school, this list is really good. When you go to the link, if you continue on to the part that says to the resources and then PBS Learning Media, they have videos to go along with some of the books by age level. Now, for elementary level, there are not a lot of books that go with that. Charlotte's Web was on there, Harry Potter, I don't remember what else for elementary, but starting with middle school and high school, there are so many books that would be great choices on there. Now, there are a few that you may want to restrict, such as 50 Shades of Grey. Not interested in that one. Twilight, not interested in that one either for my kids. But for the most part, they are really good choices. So I think this would be a great, great, great resource for developing a reading list for your kids. There's a printable checklist. And so I actually printed it out while I was preparing for this and started making a list because with Ben, he's going to 8th grade. And so it'll be a really good list for him to start with there and then continue through high school. So that is that one. And my last one, back to BBC, is Newsround. They have a whole section on just what it sounds, news articles. There are videos, there are articles. These are all short. I would say this site is definitely more for kind of your middle elementary through maybe 2nd grade through 6th grade, somewhere around there. Ben has loved it in years past. This year when he went to it, they're all pretty short and they don't go very in depth. So he really wants more meat in his news articles now. But it's a great one, not only to keep like, here's some basic world news, but they have interesting articles about things that are going on that might interest kids. Like there was one today about elephant selfies using like heat lamps, heat cameras, that sort of thing. And they're always just interesting articles. They remind me of when I was young and we'd have the weekly readers. I don't know if anyone else had those little paper things, and those would have that mix of like what's going on in the world with just really interesting things that engage kids, interesting stories. So that's what I would say this is. I guess it used to be a TV show. They had it on BBC. I laughed because it said this tea time television show was canceled as kids, stopped watching TV as much or whatever. But I laughed because to a British person, they would have an idea what tea time, like what time that came on. I no idea. In the afternoon, I'm assuming, but it just made me laugh that, one of those cultural things that would be common knowledge for them. Anyway, that is my 5th resource idea. And for Newsround, the way I use it and the way I use other news sources now is basically just telling my kids to go find something to read. Find an article. Newsround also has good videos that are usually just a couple minutes in length. And it's like, go find something and then tell me about it. Go read 2 articles and tell me about them. Whatever. I keep it really casual for the news stuff, but I like building in that habit of staying informed. My boys now watch CNN 10 each day, which is another free resource. They do it on the YouTube, CNN 10's YouTube channel. They love watching CNN 10. Like if they don't start the day with it, they get kind of cranky. So that's what they do. My daughter listens to NPR's Up First podcast, which is it's about 10 minutes, and the tagline is the news you need to start your day. Here's what's coming up on the day of news. Here's something that happened yesterday. Brief, 10 minutes, but informative. So that's how she stays onto it. And I just really like finding easy ways of building that habit of being informed about what's going on in the world. So those, my dear friends, are the 5 resources for you today. Like I said, the link for all of these are named down in the description bar. The links for them, follow the blog post that's down in there, and you can head over and get all the links to them, but they're all easily searchable by the names that are in the description bar as well. And I will see you next week to talk about some fun for the homeschool mom. So if you have a favorite resource, something you've done online recently, a favorite blog, favorite book, whatever, I'd love for you to bring it to share. Bring the link, title, whatever, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.